right, so we're gonna watch this live auction this morning and see if we get our money back out of this Silverado. But I just want to go over this morning. This is kind of what it takes to be a dealer sometimes. Last night I pre-bidded 48 vehicles, meaning I put bids on 48 vehicles, and if I would have won all them bids, I would have just won 48 vehicles, essentially. I've lost 35 of them bids, so that means people are willing to pay more than what I'm willing to pay on 35 of the vehicles, and I'm winning 13 of the vehicles right now. This 13 number will come down some more as the live auction starts, because I'm sure people will outbid me on a lot of the stuff. Some of these cars I'm trying to buy for a side hustle I do involving the race car that I'm not going over in this video, but yeah, I definitely bid a ton of cars. So let's see here. We want to go show what we paid for the Silverado. Okay, so here's what this truck looked like when I bought it. You can see there it is, 2008 Silverado, 195,000 miles on it. Come down here, it was a Geico vehicle. They claimed it was worth $13,000, four-wheel drive, 5.3, all the good stuff. So let's look at the picture. So when I bought this, I mean, this wheels tore off, fenders tore off. I mean, this thing looks really bad in the front end, like it took a crazy gnarly hit. This side, I mean, this thing just looks freaking demolished, man. Like it has a ton of damage. You know, wheels are pointed every which way, all kinds of stuff going on, mud all over it, tail light thrown out of it on this side, tailgate hanging out. I mean, this thing just looks in bad shape. You know, you can see a tire hanging out over here. You can see, you don't know what's going on with the dash. The cloth is all over the place, camouflage all over the wood grain. I mean, this thing looks in bad shape. There's the mileage. It's got lights all over it. You can see it's running, but it's got all kinds of lights all over the dash. Interior, there's the motor, the coolant reservoir's thrown way over here. I mean, it just looks like a complete train wreck. So, what did I pay for it? Here's what I paid for it. 2008 Silverado Black, 195 mileage. So my bid amount was $23.50. The rest of the stuff was fees, all kinds of just fees. We did floor this vehicle. We do have a credit line with a flooring company, so we do have a finance fee on there. There's all kinds of fees that racked us up to, I was $29.37 out the door. There's where we financed it, so I will be shooting today, hoping that we clear $3,000. That way, when I get charged the selling fees on it, I want to walk out of IAA with a check for at least $2,950. That means I made a couple bucks, go to McDonald's, get a burger. But I don't want to lose money. That's the name of the game. Let's see here. So this morning, go to my vehicles. We are sitting at, here it is this morning. You can see the date right here, where it's the 23rd. Here's our vehicle, 08 Silverado, and we are sitting at the pre-bid of $2,300, so we are almost there, so it's looking good. We're gonna record this when it goes live, so it's looking good for us getting our money back. Even if it doesn't budge no more off of that, the local branch can call the high bidder and negotiate the price and get it up. But to get me up to this number, you know, so fast, pre-bidding, because when I originally bought it, I had to get that number. That number shot up at the auction. This is what I put it into auction looking like. There we go. See the difference? So you don't have a wheel hanging off. I took the fender off of it like we went over. I actually swapped the grill out with my buddy. He wanted a black grill, and I said, that's fine, let's throw your chrome grill on there, because it's going back to the auction anyway. It's not covered in mud. I washed it. Headlights put back in it. Fenders didn't, but everything's washed, everything's shiny. I mean, it looks way better in these pictures than it did from the insurance company. It looks like you have some fender parts in a better truck, so anybody buying it is going to be like, oh, okay, some parts are in a better truck, hopefully. Tailgate's closed, tail lights put back in it like it's supposed to be. I mean, you can see a reflection of vehicles in it. It just looks like a really good looking truck. Now look at the difference on the interior, man. Getting rid of that camouflage, look at what difference that makes. This looks more luxury, more high end. The dash cover is back in place. I mean, everything's just tidied up and straightened up. I should have vacuumed this right here. I do regret that, but that's not a big deal. It's just a little bit of dirt. Don't, like I said, you don't want to spice it up too much. There's the front end. You know, everything's put back together. It looks like it's been broke down by an insurance company or something. But yeah, still has some lights on the dash. But you can see in the picture it's running. Your RPMs are up. Yeah, I mean, it looks a lot cleaner, so that's going to help us. I mean, look, even the coolant reservoir's back over here in place where it's supposed to go. They hold the hoods up with a PVC pipe because the hood don't have a hinge on this side. But I purple powered, pressure washed under the engine base. Everything looks nice and clean in the pictures. Keys are there, and the keys actually, if you look, this little circle right here means this truck has a remote start, factory remote start. So it just looks a lot better. And then yeah, the picture's blurry, which kind of worked in my favor. It's bad on their part, but there's a fender laying there, so people are probably like, oh, okay, maybe that fender's usable. I mean, I know it's crunched in right here, but maybe they don't. And then there's a tire right here, so people could be like, oh, okay, well maybe, you know, there's some parts there, maybe it's not that bad. So this being blurry definitely worked in my favor. That's a mess up on IAA's part. And then you can go do the 360 they've shown in the past, where you go around the vehicle. When you go around the vehicle, you can see there's scratches. And I wanted to buff them out, but they were a little deep, so I decided to screw it. But you can see all tail lights are in it, tailgate's back in it, LTZ baggage is on it. Everything's nice and clean. Right here is where, remember, we spent this time cleaning the frame up so you didn't see it rusty and everything. So when you're spinning it right here, it's not rusted. Everything's all blending right in back there, so it doesn't look. You know, you can see your frame right here. Nobody's gonna pay attention to this, but you can see how this is rusty. Not rusty, it's just surface rust, but you get what I'm saying. But then right here, you don't see the frame. It's just all nice and satin black, but it's also not reflecting with the gloss black spray paint like we went over. So then you spin it, you know, and you can just see the dirty frame like it's supposed to be. But yeah, I mean, it looks 100 times better than it did the first time that I went to purchase it. So hopefully today we will get our money back on this bad boy, and I will show y'all, be able to release this video and show y'all how to get your money back when you purchase a bad vehicle, or try to get your money back. It also says title delay right here because it is financed, but obviously the pre-bid is not affecting nobody, it looks like. So let's see what happens. And while we're going over this, I'll go ahead and show you some stuff. This is the dirty side of the thing. We did not do a video on this. I own this 2004 F-250 Super Duty. This thing is crazy nice, but I can't get it to crank, and I think it's a high injection fuel pump or whatever. But my pre-bid on that is $12.25. I think I needed the 4,000 somewhere. I'd ask the wife. I don't remember what we paid for it, but we're not looking the most promising on this one. Bid's low. This will be the third week we've ran this one. And then this Mariner, I own this one too, also with only 92,000 miles. It needs a transmission. But the pre-bid on that one is $18.75, and I think that's also, I think I'm in like the 4,000s or something with that one. I'm crazy deep in that one. This is a clean title, stupid clean title. You know I hate clean titles. I bought this from a local clean title sale back about 2 years ago when I got this brilliant idea that I was going to try some clean titles again. And sure enough, got it, and it needed transmissions. All the clean titles normally I get have transmission problems, motor problems, they need engine work, like just complete junk normally for the price range I'm buying. I mean, I'm not paying $10,000, $20,000 for a vehicle at auction. And so this is why I do my salvages. When I get my salvage, I can pay $800 for a car at salvage auction, and the thing will drive 2 hours up the road with no issues, even wrecked. So I just hate these clean title cars. I really, really passionately hate clean title cars because they just normally have issues, where salvage, in my opinion, somebody was driving it, it was on the road, and it was taken from them in an accident. Whereas the clean titles, if it's at the auction, then it was traded in, it was got rid of, somebody gave it away because they didn't want it no more, they wanted something else. And there's tons of clean title vehicles out there with no issues, but my price range, my line of work, my style of doing these car flipping, clean titles are absolute, complete porta-john crap to me compared to the salvage. So that's the reason why I do salvages. But yeah, we'll also watch these today, or I'll be watching them to see if I can get money back on these. But this is the only one we're going to be focusing on this video, since I do have, you know, all the footage of it.
So now that I have showed you what I paid for this truck, I am going to show you the journey that we took to get to reselling the truck. We attempted to do a frame pull, and it did not go great. We just couldn't get it to pull out like it should, so that's when I quit on it, send it back to auction, and try to get my money. So follow along, watch us as we get this on this small journey of trying to recoup this money on a bad IAA purchase. And next week, my LTZ is on the platter to be served up. Get it going, getting it put together. We're gonna get this little jewel right, swap the suspension out. Already got the suspension over there. I got a whole front clip I've been saving. So yes, sir. We're gonna have a good week next week. Got her back up on her suspension and her wheels today. I've been busy with the race car. I just ain't had time to mess with the crap, man. But yeah, I got the front suspension put back on her. I got a roller put on it and made a little bit of progress today. This video is going to take a turn for the worse. This is the name of the game with some of these vehicles. Let's take a look on the inside first though. LTZ, all black leather. Nice truck. I mean, it really is. It's got 200K, but it's still a really nice truck. Open it. It's got that camo stuff on the wood grain, but it is all wood grain. It's got to be peeled off. So, all black leather. Center console. I mean, she's a nice truck, but got a little more frame damage than we're willing to deal with. So you can see right here, we threw a ton of heat to this, heated it up, worked on pulling it out. We're still off approximately 2 inches, I think, of it is pushed in, so it really needs another frame on it. It's not hard to do, really not hard to do. I'm gonna get the numbers on what I paid for this truck and everything, as long as it sells at IAA. If you're seeing this video, then obviously I sold it at IAA, and I'm gonna go over with you what I bought it for and what I sold it for, and if I lost money or how much I lost. If I sold it, you're seeing this video, I probably didn't lose no money because normally I play this right. But we're gonna get this thing cleaned up today and prepped to go to IAA, and I'll show you how and what we do to send a car to IAA, and I'll show you the dirty side of the business. Alright, so what I've actually done here is, being this frame is bent in here, it's got that control arm back on that side. So the wheel is farther back. So when you look at it from side to side, you kind of can tell that wheel is pushed back. So what we want to do, even though we're not going to have a fender on it, so you really won't be able to tell, is, of course, we want this side of this arm out. We want this side of this arm in. That way it walks the ball joint forward more that way, so that the wheel is more back where it's supposed to be. So being it's at such an extreme thing, I actually hooked the frame machine to it and pulled it back this way. That way I can tighten down that bolt or that bolt back to help keep the wheel back forward, so when you're looking at it in the pictures at the auction, it actually looks like it's back center. Alright, so now of course this don't look the best. This picture don't look the best. So if the auction happens to take a picture of this corner and you zoom in, sometimes you can see this stuff, sometimes you can't. So I'm gonna make sure I lower my odds of anybody seeing this in a picture to increase my odds on selling it. So we're gonna take some simple trim a bumper paint. We want it to trim a bumper paint because this stuff is like a satin in color. It's not a gloss, so we don't want it to look glossy like we sprayed it. We want it to just give it this look like nothing was done to it at all in pictures. If you look at it in person, then of course you'll be able to see it. So we're just gonna take this and go over this frame, get rid of some of these spots that are a little in question. We don't want to make it too good. We want to get rid of the dirty looking control arms. That way they're not all rusty looking, even though it's just surface rust. And we just want to make it look a little more average. So we don't want to get carried away to take away from, we don't want it to look spray bombed, but we definitely don't want it to necessarily look like it is now. So the first thing we're gonna do to bring more money is get rid of this stupid stick-on camouflage, man. I don't know how somebody thought it was a good idea to buy or have a nice LTZ. I'm not saying they bought it, Daddy could have bought it, but have a nice LTZ with factory wood grain and then cover it up with freaking stick-on camouflage. So that's definitely got to go. Plus it will help bring more money in the auction if your vehicle doesn't look like it was owned by a teenager. Alrighty, and then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to bleed the brakes. I dedicate the caliper off, and it only takes a second. But as you can see, if we were taking a picture of this from like here, you know, if the auction taking a picture, frame rail doesn't look bad. Doesn't look too clean. We still got a lot of dirty stuff going on around it. You know, it necessarily doesn't look like anybody did anything to it if you don't know. You know, if you're looking like this, or even if they pick picture straight on. So that's the look you want. I painted it before I put the brake line on because I don't want the brake line bombed. I want the brake line dusty and dirty like that to give it an appearance that it hasn't had much going on. Same reason why I want this yellow stuff up here not painted and these coils not painted. You know, I don't want it to look too spray paintish. So here we are, all loaded up. All we did was washed it. We put a grill back on it, put a hood back on it, put a light back in it, cleaned the rims up, cleaned the tires up, washed it so the paint's all shiny, took any stickers off to try to get rid of the teenage look as much as possible. Biggest thing is just washing it, cleaning it all up. We're about to go dump it off at IAA, but I mean, it looks it's gonna look really good in pictures. See. Got rid of all the stickers on the dash, put the cloth cover back on the top of the dash, so hopefully it'll bring some good money. Left the fender off of it, but you can see now when it's all together, you know, it doesn't really scream that anything was done. So hopefully somebody will bid on it and buy it, and we can make us some money. At least break even. That's the goal, is just to break even at least, and not to lose money and get my money back. It's always the name of the game. Don't really expect to make money, but it would be nice, wouldn't it? I'll catch y'all soon. Everything, they sell everything. So there we go, we just dropped off the truck. Me and CJ come over here and dropped it off, and hopefully it'll be in the auction here in the next week or so. But yeah, this is IAA. They sell everything here, anything you could possibly want. Cars, truck, SUVs, boats, four-wheelers, dirt bikes, anything. If it's totaled, it comes here. Alright, so the truck's next up on the block, and what we actually want to see is 32, 33. I'm actually 31 and some change in it. So 33 would be really safe, but if we come in short, we can also always negotiate after the sale. So let's see here in a moment what happens when it comes on the block. We're really hoping to pull 33 straight up at the auction and not have to negotiate. But I'm not holding my breath for that to happen. I don't think it will happen. I don't think it'll budge much over what it's already at, honestly.
Time extended.
So this one's about to go, and then we're up. Well, people stop throwing extra money on it.
Time extended.
Every time somebody touches it, they extend the time.
Sold.
There we go. I don't think this is going to budge much. But I always could be wrong. You never know how this. There she goes. There she goes. Alright, now we're in the money. We're officially making money right now. Every single click, I am making money. This is freaking amazing. Come on, click it a couple more times. You always want to get greedy, right?
Time extended. Sold.
sold. So we just made money. So almost just made $1,000, like literally on just putting it back into auction. Check out this one while we're watching the auction. So this is a 17 F250 Super Duty 6.7, and the if they show it again, the whole back of the truck is missing. There's the back wheels. The whole back's missing, like everything is missing. Bed, exhaust, axle, everything. And it's a work truck, vinyl floors. And look at the price it's bringing. I just happened to walk into the office and catch this and figured I'd put it up for y'all. This is the reason why when people say salvage titles aren't worth anything, yeah, they are. Salvage titles can still be worth big money. Looks like it's about to close at 11,225 with no back. There she goes. Anyways, so we're gonna the plan is we're gonna try to negotiate the F250 and see if we can get the buyer up some more. That way, we can hopefully, the profits we made off the LTZ, we can wash the F250 out. So I'm gonna close out of this. And I'm gonna wrap this video up and try to get this thing out to y'all today. So hopefully you learned something. Hopefully this will help you out. And like, comment, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thanks.